Okay, can somebody tell me, define a dimension for me? It's okay even if you give the wrong answer, but I need an answer, please. Can somebody make an attempt?
I guess it would be a way to look at the data from a particular part of the company or a section of the company.
Okay. Okay. So dimensions are actually business entities. Okay. Are business entities which holistically define the complete properties of a specific business entity. Right? So if you're looking at, if you're calling a product as a dimension, okay, so all the attributes of a dimension, what are attributes of a dimension? My friends, what are attributes of a dimension? Our attributes of a dimension are basically columns within the same dimension itself. So product ID, product name, brand name, category name, all those things become actually the attributes of a dimension. Very, very important. Please do not forget any basics out here. Your analysis services class and a part of SSIS integration services class heavily depend on this knowledge. So if you're not thorough with this, it's going to be extremely difficult to follow up later. Okay, so please make sure you watch my videos in case you're not attended the previous class. Okay, and in case you do not understand anything, please let us know. Okay, we are happy to actually do it all over again, because if you do not get this, you're not going to enjoy the rest of the class too. Okay. Likewise, give me some attributes of geography dimension. Somebody. Give me some attributes of geography dimension.
Like ID description.
Yeah, what ID and what description?
Geography ID, geography description.
I'll call it city ID, city description, city name. All right.
Right, country name.
Excuse me.
State name, country name.
State, country, etc.
Well, I would just want to make an addition. If any of you are not speaking, please mute your microphone, and that will give us the best audio conferencing experience. I appreciate that. Thank you very much in advance.
Okay. So we'll just take off payment method for our discussion today. Okay. So we're just going to keep it very simple. In our dimension model right now, how many facts and how many dimensions are currently there in our dimension model?
There are 4 facts.
Okay. And how many dimensions?
5 dimension, I guess.
Can you name me some of the dimensions for me, please?
You have date, facts, sale account, product, and geography.
And actually, there is one fact table, one fact. This entire thing comprises, constitute to one fact itself. Okay, and there are currently 3 dimensions in our dimension model.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you don't forget the dimension model principles. Dimensions are business entities which is required to make which holistically defines all the properties of that particular business entity. What does a fact
Mm-hmm.
table contain? Anybody online? What does a fact table contain? We took this up yesterday.
Labels and dimension ID.
Yes, it contains dimension keys. So you'll have product ID here, date, geography. Instead of geography, I'll just substitute city ID. It contains dimension keys and measures. What are measures?
Sales amount, discount, quality tax, quantity and tax. That's
Okay.
give
Yes.
measures.
How do you define measures for me, please? You were right in identifying the measures. Define measures for me, please.
Um, I'm sorry.
That's fine. Anybody else? I request all of you again, in case you're not speaking, please mute your microphone for me, please.
Well, again, I want to make a suggestion. Well, we are not seeing each other, so don't be shy, okay? It doesn't matter whether you are right or wrong. Well, I want the class to be very interactive, so if you think that your answer is almost right or half right, please speak out, and that is, we want to make it more like interactive, okay? Appreciate that.
More than getting the answers from you guys, I'm very concerned about clearing off all the doubts or clearing out any misconceptions you have about the topics. So even if the answer is wrong, I don't care. Please give me some answer. Whatever you think may or may not be right. Okay? So again, can anybody define measures for me, please?
Hi, this is Prabhu,
Yeah, Prabhu?
and anything which is calculated
Mm-hmm.
is we can take it as a measure.
Okay.
If the date is calculated in terms of quarterly, yearly, and 5 years basis, then sometimes that is also taken into count as a measure.
Okay.
Correct me if I am wrong.
Okay. Right now, let's keep it very, very simple. Whatever within the particular fact table, so this is my fact table, right?
Mm-hmm.
Within my particular fact table, whatever you can add, whatever you can use some function, right? Those things can be called as measures. Whatever is additive or added can be measures. In this particular example, if you look at it, you cannot add products, you cannot add date, you cannot add city, but you could add sales amount, discount amount, quantity, and tax. Right or wrong?
That's right.
Okay. Most likely, those would be measures within the particular fact table. I'll give you some scenarios when some of them are not cannot be summed up also, so that we can take up as an advanced class. Okay.
Yeah, Raj, can we say that it's an aggregate data? All the aggregated data is called measures.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All the data which could be aggregated within a particular fact table are called measures. As simple as that. Any questions till now? Okay. Now, within a particular date dimension, or let's say within a particular dimension itself, okay, there might be multiple ways how end users will be looking at the data. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In most cases, in some cases, okay, they can look at from a category perspective. Okay, a category can have many brands, and a brand can have many products. Do you guys agree?
Wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, so now I'll teach you some abbreviations what we guys use in the dimension model world. So you can always look at the data however you want, but if you're looking at any kind of relationship within the attributes, you can have category. A category can have many brands, and a brand can have many products. All right? Likewise, let's say geography. Can you give me one such representation of the particular data in geography?
State.
Excuse me?
Country.
Okay, we'll
This
start
is
with
Prabhu.
countries. Yeah, Prabhu.
State and country.
A country can have many states, and a state can have many cities.
Yes.
Okay, let's do the same thing for date, shall we? Can somebody give me an example of date?
March
AM and PM.
Sorry, can you guys repeat it again for me, please?
We can give the range of dates 7 to 12
No,
or 8 hours, first 8 hours, next 8 hours, and then next 8 hours, like that.
looking at the existing attributes, give me a representation of data in date.
A month, a quarter, and a year.
First starts from a year, quarter, month, and date. Okay, month, week, and date. Does this make sense or not? How many guys didn't understand this? In case you're not speaking, can you please mute your microphones for me, please?
Yeah, it is absolutely right. What you are saying is absolutely right.
Okay.
And these things we can make as a division in.
Okay. These things in the dimension model, the way how you actually look at the data, okay, are called hierarchies within the dimension. Are called hierarchies within the dimension.
Raj, can you repeat it again?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. You can represent the data in many ways, or you can look at the data in many ways within a particular dimension, right? Here, you can, if you look at the attributes of a dimension, and if you try to find the relationship between the attributes, you see one category can have many brands, one brand can have many products. This is a way how end users would like to see their data also, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, let's take a very simple example out here. Year, quarter, month, week, date. So there exists a relationship between the attributes of the particular date dimension, right? What kind of relationship exists between the top level and the bottom level?
Say year 2011, quarter 1, month 1, week 3, right?
Yes.
One to many.
One to many. There is always one to many relationship between the top level and the immediate next level within a particular hierarchy. So whenever you get any representation of the data where there exists a one to many relationship between the higher level and the lower level, those are called hierarchies within a particular dimension. Did anybody didn't understand this concept? Okay. So within the dimension modeling world, just give me a second. Within the dimension modeling world, they use a lot of terminologies to define hierarchies. Okay. How many people I've heard about drill up and drill down?
Yeah.
I did. Hi, this is Prabhu.
Yes.
I did reporting in drill down, drill through. It is
Okay.
a drill up and it
Okay.
is a little bit of drill up and hierarchies.
Uh-huh.
In HR,
Mm-hmm.
it starts from CEO
Mm-hmm.
to the end
Employee.
employee. Yeah, there is a
Right.
drill.
How they define drill up is you're drilling up through the hierarchy. You are looking at date, you're grouping that by week, you're looking by month, you're looking by quarter, and looking by year. If you're going up the hierarchy, that is called drill up. Drill down is exactly the opposite way. If you are coming down through the hierarchy, then it is called drill down. You start looking at the data for a year, sales across years. Then you drill down to quarters. You further drill down to month, further drill down to week, and further drill down to date. Okay? Hierarchies are very, very important in the dimension model. It makes or breaks your dimension model. Okay? Very, very important. Please do not forget this. It's a critical need for representing data. Okay? So now let me ask you a question. How many hierarchies can a particular dimension have?
As many as you need.
As many as you need. Can you give me one more hierarchy for product dimension?
Product dimension. Categories,
Okay?
brand name, product name, and product ID. That's how it should go.
No, product name and product ID comes at the same thing, right?
Okay. So category, brand, and
You can have something like products and category too. It doesn't really matter. You can take a permutation and combination of any of the attributes in the product dimension. Make sure the top level and the bottom level has a one-to-many relationship. If you suffice that requirement, you can make any number of hierarchies within a particular dimension.
okay.
Okay? Now, again, if you guys are not speaking, I request you to please mute your microphones. It really helps the recording, please. Okay? So, now I'll be concentrating more on the date dimension right now. Can somebody identify what could be the problem with this particular hierarchy? I say there is a problem with that hierarchy. Okay? I want you guys to identify what problem could be there in that particular hierarchy.
Like problem you mean, Raj?
There is an issue. I'm saying that there is an issue with that particular hierarchy. Okay? I need you guys to identify what could be the issue in that particular hierarchy.
Would it be the year? Like you don't know what year you're talking about?
You can always put some data around it. 2011. this is quarter one. Month is March. Week is God knows what week is this, first, second, fourth week,
Third.
week 4, and date. Okay. Now, identify a problem within the hierarchy. There is a problem.
Is it about like the month, the month number and the month?
No, it is not about representation of the particular data.
Or day? Should it be day instead of date?
Not exactly again.
Sorry, I tried.
No problem, no problem. That was good tries. Anybody else?
Hi, this Prabhu. It is changing for a course of time.
Every dimension actually changes over a course of time. Every dimension for that matter. If you look at the week, okay, it depends on what you define a particular week. So now let me just open up our calendar itself. If you look at week 1, how many days are there in a particular week? Week 1 of March. If I say Sunday to Saturday is a week, I see that there are 5 days in that particular week, right? Now, if I do week over week analysis, if I compare sales across first week of March and second week of March, I will be comparing sales across 5 days and 7 days.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? That is a definite problem with the date dimension. Okay.
Raj, can you say it again,
Yes.
please?
If you look at my screen right now, if you look at the calendar for March 2011, are you able to see my calendar?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So if you look at that, now week 1 of March, how many days are there in the first week of March? You can just have a look at my screen and let me know how many days are there in the first week of March.
7. Oh, okay. 5. Yes, 5.
5. When you're trying to do analysis over week 1 of March to week 2 of March, suddenly you're doing analysis using 5 days of week 1 and 7 days of week 2, which is absolutely wrong. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Most of the
Got it.
cases, what happens is week can span across multiple months. Whenever there is an issue, sometimes you end up analyzing 1 day across 7 days, which will obviously give you wrong results. Okay? So having week in the same hierarchy of month and quarter will not give you right answers most of the time. So what usually we do in the dimension model is we split up the week into a separate hierarchy all by itself. Okay, and we're going to delete this. Within date dimension, usually there will be at least 2 hierarchies. The first hierarchy is the normal hierarchy, year, quarter, month, date. And the second hierarchy is year going down to week and date. We do not mix week and month within the same hierarchy, for that obvious reason where we'll get wrong results. Any questions till now? Anybody didn't understand this? No problem. Can somebody give me a definition of an hierarchy one more time for me, please?
A hierarchy is when you have one-to-many relationship, one the top one, and many relationship after going down.
Okay. The gentleman is right. Hierarchies.
Name is Tab, by the way.
Sorry for that.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
If you look at any particular hierarchy, there is usually a one-to-many relationship between the top level and the bottom level. Please note that these things, the date, month, quarter, year, all those things are known as levels of a hierarchy. Okay. How many levels does this particular hierarchy have?
4 levels?
Perfect. What about this?
3 levels?
Yes. So how we speak during our discussion with the customers who's familiar with dimension model is, hey, your date dimension have 2 hierarchies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the hierarchies has 4 levels. The second hierarchy has 3 levels.
Mm-hmm.
Currently in my dimension model, I have 3 dimensions, 1 fact table. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Within my product dimension, I have 4 attributes. Okay. Product has 1 hierarchy. Geography has 1 more. Date has 2 hierarchies currently.
Mm-hmm.
Any issues understanding the concept till now?
Typically, is it very common to have multiple hierarchies for each dimension?
The more the number of hierarchies for a specific dimension, the better is your analysis.
Okay.
Okay.
Do most of the dimensions have hierarchies?
May or may not be.
Okay. It's not a must. Okay.
It's not a must.
Okay.
Okay.
Raj, one question.
Absolutely.
If it is not having the hierarchy, what is the condition?
No, hierarchies are actually dictated not by the dimensional modeling people. It is actually dictated by the end users, by the users of the system. If they don't want a hierarchy, even if there could be a hierarchy in product, they might say that, hey, I don't need any hierarchies in product. They might not look the data in that perspective. Even right now, I can almost delete this particular hierarchy if the end user does not want it. Okay. Please note that it is called business intelligence for a reason. It is all about the particular business. Whatever the business wants, however they want it, we just facilitate that. Okay.
Raj,
Yes.
sorry, Raj, a quick question. Do you ever run into issues where a client or the business wants to qualify a hierarchy a certain way, and where you think it's wrong? For example, the date and the date hierarchy, the week and the month. Let's say if they wanted, 5 days for the first week, do you have conflicts there?
Absolutely. Usually, in most of the cases, customers usually have their own business rules for a particular hierarchy. I used to do dimensional modeling for Unilever. It's called HLL in India. Okay. They have a very weird concept of hierarchy. They used to say 8 days is a particular week. Okay. And they define months. as a combination of 4 such weeks. So if I used to call them in the month of, let's say, 15th of April or something, they would say that, hey, this is month end for us. I was thinking like, are you guys crazy? This is still the middle of the week. They can have their own definitions and business rules around a hierarchy. Okay? However they want it. It is, end of the day, it is them who are looking at the particular data and reporting on it. So, however they wish to see that particular data, we used to provide it that way.
Raj, with the same token, the year could be different too, right?
Excuse me?
I said with the same token, the year could be different too, right?
Absolutely. There is a slight problem with the week and the year too, but that is compromisable.
Yeah, because see, I think I remember like where we did like 2 years. One is a fiscal year and one is the regular year.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So fiscal year starts from April or something like that.
Exactly. So within the date, you could have fiscal, you could have reporting, you could have manufacturing, a lot of ways you can look at a particular date dimension. Microsoft has a fiscal hierarchy starting from July to June. So that is how they look at all their data, July to June. Tax in India is actually calculated on April to March. So whenever we look at payment related information, at least when we're trying to do data modeling for Indian customers, it's always April to March. Okay. So if you have any kind of manufacturing sites elsewhere in the world, they can have their own hierarchies. Okay, I know for the fact that Hyundai, which is a South Korean company having a plant in Bangalore, they look at the data from February to January.
The leather industry, they are calculating only on week basis. They have the calendar, the leather manufacturing unit has the calendar that specifies the week number. So their manufacturing starts from week, ends in week.
Yeah. So different ways of having a look at the particular business. Again, these are all just examples. Different customers have very different needs. You cannot specify, okay, I'm going to take this hard route to determine this could be the only hierarchy or that could be the only levels. There is no such thing as that. Okay? So please make sure at least the concepts wise it is clear. And whatever is the business requirement for the end users, we're just going to fine tune the model in that way. Okay. Now, coming back to the respective topic, okay, date, product, geography, and the fact table can all be physicalized as tables and columns, right or wrong?
Right.
You can have a table for product, you can have a table for geography, you can have a table for fact, and a table for date. No problem?
No problem.
How do I represent hierarchies in the relational model? Again, if you guys are not speaking, I request you to please mute your microphone for me, please. How do you represent a hierarchy in the relational database?
Are you talking about how you represent, I mean, all those tables are in hierarchy fashion? That's what you're talking about?
This table, the date table, sorry, this date dimension can be represented as a table. right?
Yes.
Now tell me,
Yes.
how do I represent hierarchies? I have two hierarchies in my date dimension, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do I represent it? How can the end user tell there are two hierarchies for my date dimension? At least in the relational database.
You can't. You cannot.
Actually, in the relational database, we cannot do it because the values would be repeating.
Absolutely. The answer is right. The justification is slightly wrong. You cannot represent
Presenting
hierarchies.
as columns.
Columns, again, you can represent it as column in another table, but that would still be wrong. Try that. You cannot tell the relationship between the top level and the bottom level. You cannot tell, hey, my date dimension has two hierarchies in the relational database. Hierarchies cannot be physicalized in the relational database. However you want to do it. There is absolutely no way you can represent a hierarchy in the relational database. It comes only at either at the OLAP layer or at the reporting layer. Just give me a second. Somebody has a question. Yamini, I'll unmute you. There you go. You should be all good. Hierarchies cannot be physicalized at the data warehouse or the data mart layer. It can be physicalized only in the OLAP cube, or it could be directly done at the reporting layer. Everybody fine with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we all understood the concept of dimensions, facts, hierarchies, levels within the hierarchy, etc.
Raj, I have a question. When you say the levels of hierarchy in a table, you mean say all these columns? Because anyway we have one.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that question, please.
You are saying that the levels of hierarchy is not possible in a relational database.
Yes.
What do you mean to say? Like, see, already we have all these columns: year, quarter, month, date, right?
Yes, you already have the hierarchy. I mean, you already have the columns for the hierarchy already there in the date dimension. But there is absolutely no way to actually give saying that, hey, this is one hierarchy in my date dimension, which has a one-to-many relationship between the top level and the bottom level. You cannot establish a relationship between the attributes in a relational database. Did you get that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. So, in general, you cannot represent any hierarchies in the relational database either. Like I said, it can be only be physicalized either at the OLAP cube level or at the reporting level. We'll be doing both of that when we take up individual things in our exercises.
Raj,
Yes.
In reporting, the hierarchies will be the heading.
It is not the heading, it is actually a concept called grouping. It is a concept of row groups or column groups. In case you do not know, do not worry about that. We will be working on that.
Got it, clear. Okay.
All right. Any other question before we move on to the next topics? I'm taking this as slowly as possible, fundamentally because it's a very important thing. You miss this, whatever you do on this particular thing, on the OLAP cubes, you cannot understand without understanding the dimensional model. And some part of the data warehouse too, you can't understand without understanding the dimensional model. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, can you tell me the lowest level of all the three dimensions in my dimension model. Lowest level. Let's start with date. What is the lowest level in date?
Date itself.
Perfect. So date itself is the lowest level. What is the lowest level in product?
Should be product name, I believe.
Okay.
Or product ID.
Okay. Product ID is the lowest level in terms of product.
Okay.
Okay. Just give me a second.
I have a question, if I may.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, what will be the difference between product ID and product name here? I mean, if you name a product, say you have a product in shoes and you have the same ID number. I mean, isn't this what would be the difference? Let me ask you that.
So one is just the ID representation. It is just the key given to the product name. Just like you have an employee ID, right, or a social security ID or whatever it is, which uniquely defines exactly who you are, right? So just like that, every particular dimension usually has an ID.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions there? No problem.
Yeah, no problem here.
All right. We'll just move on to the next topic. Sorry. What is the lowest level of a geography dimension?
That should be city ID.
Perfect. Okay. The reason why I asked you guys the lowest level of all the dimensions is lowest levels of all the dimension constitute to something we call it as the grain of the data warehouse. Very, very, very important. Okay. Especially people who are very, very serious about dimension modeling going forward, they need to understand this.
Will that also be what is that key ID?
Where is key ID in here?
The primary key, I mean, in your
most likely it is a primary key of all the individual dimensions. Okay. So it is the primary key of all the individual dimensions. Yes, you are right.
Okay.
Okay. The primary keys of all the individual dimension is called the grain of the data warehouse together. So the grain of this particular data warehouse is actually the date, product ID, and the city ID. Can somebody tell me what is the significance of defining the grain of the data warehouse?
It cannot. It has to be unique.
May not be.
Are you telling me that primary key can be duplicated?
Primary keys within a particular table cannot be duplicated. We all know that.
Okay.
For analyzing and reporting purposes?
I'm talking about the combination of the primary keys. It's called the grain of the data warehouse. I was asking what is the significance of defining the grain of the data warehouse? Somebody told for analysis and reporting purpose. Can you give me an example or how does the grain matter there?
Because unless and until I have a data from all three dimensions, I cannot see what is going where. For example, means which product is going in which city and for in what week.
Okay.
Means,
That you can
for this
anyway.
week. Okay. Okay.
That is dictated by the fact table. If there is a transaction, you will get that particular data, right? But what is the significance still? What is the significance of defining the grain of the data warehouse?
The granularity to the lowest level.
The granularity to the lowest level. What happens if I do not define this?
You are missing one-to-many relationship.
This is for relationship
kind of-
purpose.
This is no, not a relationship purpose. This is having least. This is having a least.
You're right in some ways. Can you just complete the sentence, please?
Yeah, it is a least relationship to data
The lowest.
for a particular kind. Yeah, lowest kind.
Okay.
One date, one product ID, one city ID is available in this grain.
Okay.
It's for uniqueness and establishing a relationship, something like that.
Okay. That is all good answers.
It's also, you can, when you do your reporting, you can drill down more and get more detailed information.
Okay. The significance of the grain of the data warehouse is it is the lowest level at which you can do reporting on or any type of analysis on. You cannot get any data lower than that. Right now, when I look at date, since I have not defined time, hours, seconds, etc., I cannot get any data below the date level. So if somebody gives me, say that, hey, I need hourly reports, I may not be able to suffice that requirement using the current model. Currently within the particular city too, there could be many zip codes. If somebody is asking me reports across many stores, across many zip codes within a particular city, I will not be able to suffice that requirement. Did you guys understand that?
Mm-hmm.
It is the lowest level at which you could possibly do reporting and analysis in the entire data warehouse. The grain of the data warehouse is at the scope of the entire data warehouse itself. Very, very, very important to define the grain of the data warehouse at the starting of your dimension modeling itself.
Raj, I have one question.
Sure.
You could just the column names whatever are there in the fact table, all the dimension keys.
Mm-hmm.
So can I see that all the dimensions will give us the granularity, lowest granularity?
Most of the dimensions have a grain. In fact, all the dimensions in this particular examples have a grain. Did I answer your question? Is that Yamini right?
Yes, Raj.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Did you get my answer or you need some more explanation in there?
Suppose there is one more dimension table where you don't have the key. So
Think about that kind of scenario. You will not have any dimension table without a key.
what I mean to say is it will have a primary keys, but the fact table will not have that dimension key. Is it possible?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's say if I take employee as one more dimension, it might be used for some other fact table, but this fact table is currently not using employee. But still, the grain of the data warehouse is date, product ID, city ID, and employee ID too. Got it?
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
So we will be extending our knowledge to multiple things right now. But did everybody get the grain of the data warehouse? Very, very important concept.
Yes.
Okay.
Raj,
Yes, please.
Raj,
Yep.
I just wanted to know the grain of the data warehouse. Will it be defined in a document, or will it be like a technical specs where it is defined?
It is usually defined as in the when you define the data model itself. I'm going to give you some examples where I have done that, so you can actually know what goes on when you design a data model. Okay, so I'm going to send across some documents of my projects, a couple of documents which defines, okay, this could be the grain of the data warehouse or whatever it is, and then I have defined some dimensions and facts around it. It is not done at the technical level. It is done much before. Even before you create a create table statement in your database, it is done much before that.
So is there like a document?
Sorry?
I'm sorry. Is it before the ER being defined? Erwin defined?
I didn't hear the question. I request you all, some of you guys, to mute your microphones. There's a lot of echoing going on. Okay, only the person who's talking can please unmute and talk to me, please.
I asked a question in a continuation that when you say it is defined much more before, like in a starting stage, the grain of data warehouse, will it be defined before the Erwin model, or before defining the Erwin or after defining the Erwin?
It is defined before defining the Erwin model itself. Okay. So Erwin model is nothing but a representation of the data model. Okay. Again, we're hearing a lot of echoes. If you can just mute your microphones for me, please, it would be really helpful. Thank you very much, and sorry for the inconvenience. The first step, what you do is, during the discussion of the data warehouse itself, right, we define what is the grain of the data warehouse. First thing is always the grain. Nothing is possible without defining the grain. Okay? Second thing is identify the dimensions and hierarchies. Third thing is identify the fact tables and measures. After identifying all these specific things, then we make use of some modeling tools like Erwin, or I would even use Excel for doing that. Once this is ready, then we go ahead creating databases or create table statements in our database, RDBMS. This is the order in which we actually do dimensional modeling. Okay?
Raj?
Yes?
Who defined the dimension and hierarchies, facts and measures and grains? The business intelligence architect, or the database developer, or DBA?
It is defined by the business intelligence architects. Okay?
Thank you, Raj.
Business intelligence architects, along with a business guy, a business analyst as they call it, talk to the business users, okay, come up with what kind of reporting they actually want to do, what they could do now, what they want to do in the future. Look at their existing database, the source system database, right? Looking at all these particular source system databases, define what kind of model needs to be there in the particular data warehouse. Once you define it either using Erwin or Excel, then it could go to the DBA for creating the physical model in RDBMS.
Right. So again, I'm sorry, I'm confused. Is it defined this grain identifying the dimension and hierarchies, facts and measures? Will it be defined by BI architect or will it be defined by business analyst?
It is defined by the BI architect after talking to the business analyst. Okay.
And how about project manager?
Project managers are just there to see the progress of the entire process itself. They don't have a very definite say on any one of these things. Okay.
Mostly more of the inputs would come from the business users, yeah? Means exactly what kind of a reporting they want.
Exactly. Okay.
Great. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Raj.
No problem. Any questions till now, please? Even if you do not understand certain concepts, now is the time to speak. Okay. Very, very important to understand all these particular concepts. Okay.
Raj, I have a very basic question.
No
about
problem.
grain. When we define a table or a dimension, we just think about the columns and see the data, that's it. When do we think about the grain?
We think about the grain even before we talk about identifying the dimensions. We identify a very high level dimensions and say that, hey, this could be the grain of the data warehouse. Okay. We also get a consensus more than what the data warehouse can do for you. We get a clear understanding with the business users saying that what it cannot do. And that is where this grain comes absolutely helpful. We say that, hey, you cannot have any reports below the date level. You cannot have hourly, second, real-time reports, never, using the current model. Okay? So you identify some of the dimension, a very high-level dimension. Then you define a grain depending on whatever you have identified. And get feedback from the business users.
Okay, Raj?
Yes.
So can the grain be a dimension or a measure?
Nope.
Or
grain is not something which you physicalize. Grain is just at a theoretical level, but it's very critical to identify that. It is just the primary keys of all the dimensions you have in your data model.
okay, but it would typically refer to a dimension, right?
The grain typically will be across only dimensions. The grain will typically be across only dimensions.
So you will never have a grain like sales amount.
No. You'll never ever have a grain of sales amount. You will not consider the fact tables into perspective at all when you define the grain. It is only across dimensions. Alright? No problem?
No problem.
Okay. So how many fact table can exist within a particular dimension model?
One.
Any other answer?
It can be one, only one.
Several.
You can have as many fact tables as you would require in a particular dimension model. Okay? As many number of dimensions and as many number of facts which solves the business purpose in a particular dimension model. Absolutely no problem having that here. Okay? So just because in our current data model we have defined only one fact and 3 dimensions, It may not.
Raj, one,
Yes,
Raj,
please.
one question. If it is a least, then it is better to handle. That's what I hear. It's true?
That is what I said. Unless it resolves your business problem, you can have as many number of dimensions and fact tables in your current data model. I had a dimension model in an enterprise data warehouse which had close to around 30 dimensions and close to around 20 fact tables. Okay. So there is no restriction on the number of dimensions or the fact tables. Whatever makes business sense and whatever the end user is using for analysis qualifies to be within the data model. Of course, the lesser the number of dimensions, the better. But again, that statement is not true given the current hardware and software prices and etc. Okay. The more the number of dimensions and the fact, yes, the maintenance of that particular tables are higher. But again, like I said, if it is being used by the business users, you or I cannot dictate the number of dimensions or facts within the dimension table or dimension model. Okay. So now tell me, what is the relationship between the fact and the dimension? Do you see a primary key foreign key relationship between the fact and the dimension?
Yes.
Okay. You see a primary key, foreign keys are there in fact tables. Primary keys are there in the dimension tables.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Going to the next part of the discussion here. I have a particular thing here called transaction number in my particular fact table. What does the fact table contain? Dimension keys and measures. Right?
Yeah.
What do I do with this transaction number now? Is it a dimension or is it a fact table? Or is it a measure? Sorry.
It's a dimension.
What are the attributes of the dimension transaction number? If it
Transaction ID,
that is similar to transaction number, what else?
type of the transaction,
That is not captured in the source system. Whatever is a transaction, whatever the details of the transaction is already given in the fact table. Somebody can tell transaction date. Date is already been captured. Okay. Transaction status, we are not getting transaction status at least from the fact table, right? At least from the source system now. Okay. These kind of dimensions, I mean these kind of things where it cannot be qualified as a measure. Definitely you cannot add transactions. Right?
That is right.
Or nor you could actually analyze if somebody says transaction number is a dimension, nor you can analyze sales amount across transaction numbers. It does not make sense. Right? So these kind of columns in the fact table which cannot be called as a measure, but it is used only for reporting purpose only, are called as degenerated dimensions. Dimensions without attributes. Dimension without attributes called a degenerate. More often than not, whenever you define anything around sorry about that, whenever you define anything around sales or insurance or any of the low transaction type of details, you would always get a transaction number. If you're making a data model for an airline, you would get something like a transaction number and a PNR number, right? You would get a 6-digit PNR number. All those things qualifies for a valid transaction. Okay, so it is required only for the reporting purpose, but it is not required for any of the analysis purpose. You cannot analyze sales amount by transaction number. You cannot analyze quantity by transaction number. But transaction number is required only from the reporting perspective. So those things are called as degenerated dimensions. It is a dimension but without any attributes to that particular dimension. Some of the most important analysis can be done using the degenerated dimensions. Okay, can you give me one such example where you could do some analytics based on the degenerated dimension?
Like transactions status?
Looking at the current example, I don't have transaction status with me. Number of transactions over time. Very important analysis. How many number of transactions happened over a week or a month or a day or whatever it is? You would have heard those kind of analytics being done before. Number of transactions and the quantity sold across each transaction, or the sales value per transaction, average sales value per transaction. Very important analysis. You might think of this particular number being totally useless in some cases, but when you're trying to do transaction type of analytics, with some examples which I just mentioned, very important to understand that this plays a vital role in some of the statistics. Okay. Now, we talked about dimensions without attributes. Can you think about one example where a fact table cannot have any measures? I talked about dimension. See, our classical understanding of dimension is dimension has attributes. But we talked about one scenario where a dimension can have no attributes at all. We call it degenerated dimension. So similarly, a fact table may or may not have measures. Can you give me an example of one such example?
Can you take the top part of the fact table in this example, like product ID, date, and city ID, and you don't want to have, if you don't have the sale amount or discount and quantity up there, wouldn't that be your fact table without measures?
Give me a business scenario where I can have a fact table but without measures. You're okay to some extent, but still I require it from the business side of it. Give me a business scenario.
Inventory?
Okay, what could be the key dimension keys in inventory then?
Serial number, product ID.
Okay.
brand.
When we talk about inventory, you will always have a measure called quantity,
Okay.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
So again, can you think about any more examples where you can have a fact table but with no measures? Rest of the people, at least try, please. Even if it is wrong, I don't care. We are not here to assess. We are just here to help. Units. Nope. So I'll give an example. This particular student on this particular date, student ID, let me put student ID, did this particular date, in this particular taking class from this particular instructor ID, from this particular school or this particular class, whatever it is. Take a case of attendance register. You would end up with that scenario. Occurrence of any event. Take any occurrence of any particular event. You will end up, this cannot be a dimension. Student is a separate dimension, date is a separate dimension, instructor is a separate dimension, class is a separate dimension. So you cannot qualify this as a dimension. You cannot call it as a classical fact table because it has no measures in there. This type of fact table, right, which has no measures, most of the time you find these type of fact tables when you're looking at occurrence of a specific event. These things are called as factless fact. Factless fact. You talked about dimension tables, you talked about fact tables, you talked about dimensions without attributes. What is it called?
Factless fact.
Dimension without attributes.
Dimension, deaggregated dimensions?
Degenerated dimensions.
Degenerated, okay, I'm sorry.
No problem. What are fact tables without measures?
Factless.
Factless fact.
Factless fact. Very important understanding. Please make sure that you have a good hold on all these particular things. Okay. Now, in our data model, right now, okay, let me copy this somewhere else. Okay. I'm going to remove some of these sections. Don't worry, it has already been copied, so you'll have a copy of everything here. Okay. I am going to remove the hierarchies, levels, and all those things. I'm just going to keep only the dimensions in perspective. See, we're going to use the same examples to learn most of the concepts. Okay, so that it becomes easier. I'm not giving you different examples each time. There you go. Okay. So we have one fact table and a geography dimension. No problem. So can you tell me, so right now, all the attributes of a specific date, all the dimensions actually can be represented within the same table, right or wrong?
Repeat the question, please.
All the attributes of the dimension tables can be represented within each single tables. I can put all the attributes of date in one table, all the attributes of product in one table, all the attributes of geography in one table. Right?
Yes, we can.
Right.
Perfect. Give me a scenario where I would have to split up a good looking dimension. Let's take for example date dimension into two tables.
When, like, say, when you have a week, you're gonna have to split that into two.
Nope.
It can be year
and a quarter.
Let me give you an example. Okay. This particular product ID, in this particular city ID, in this particular month, I need to sell this much quantity and realize this much amount. A valid business case?
Yes.
Everything has targets nowadays, right? Everything has targets in terms of your learning, or even if how much business you're getting, what kind of value you're putting into it. If you're selling something, how much you sold, what are you supposed to sell, how much are you supposed to sell. Everything has targets. When I get a fact table like this is a dimension table or a fact table. Let's agree upon that first. Is this a dimension table or a fact table?
This is a fact table.
Okay.
fact table.
A fact table contains dimension keys and measures. What are the measures in here?
Budget quantity and
Budget amount.
Perfect. Now, what is the golden rule of connection between the fact table and the dimension table? Keys, right? So
Yeah.
there is a primary key, foreign key relationship between the dimension table and the fact table, right? So I connect my foreign key product ID to this particular primary key here. Somebody has a question. Primary key, yes, Priyadarshan. That is correct. Not sure if you can. Okay, I have not muted anybody. Okay. Again, there is a foreign key, primary key relationship between city and month. Similarly, I'm just going to draw some of those things out here too. So the primary key, foreign key relationship here. City ID is here too. Okay, very important. I'm drawing all these things to make you guys understand that perfectly. Not a problem?
Not a problem.
I say there is a problem, at least with this particular fact table. I would call this particular fact table as budget fact table. Who cares? You can call anything you want, right? No problem. I've connected product ID to particular product, city ID to geography. Now what happens to month? Where should I connect month?
That's why we create another dimension.
Okay, I'll create another month dimension as you call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say month, quarter, year, whatever it is. Okay? Isn't this a problem?
Month will go in measure.
Month is
Okay.
month cannot go in measures. Where should I connect this?
Date.
Is with the month table on
Okay,
the month table under month, but
here. That is what you said.
mm-hmm.
No problem?
Can we take that month quarter from that place? Is it date dimension?
Now,
Yes. Have a look at this existing model and tell me where is the problem, if there is a problem.
the problem will come into month because month is supposed to be unique, and in this case we're gonna have more than 1 month IDs in there.
Okay. I can always put
Do
a
I
month.
make sense, or I'm just rambling?
No problem. So I'm resolving your answer. I'm giving you the answer here. I'll put a month ID, no problem. Now it shouldn't be a problem, right?
That's, I'm not sure.
All right. Anybody else think there is a problem with this particular relationship? Now tell me, how many dimensions are there in my current dimension model?
You have 4.
How many fact tables?
2.
2.
Okay. What is the hierarchy which exists for the date dimension now?
Month ID, week, and date.
Okay. What you said is right. We actually have to separate a single dimension into multiple tables.
Mm-hmm.
The relationship between the fact table and to the month is also correct.
Okay.
But this entire thing is called as one dimension. Date and month is called as one dimension only. It is one single business entity, right?
Yeah.
So if it is one single business entity, it does not matter in how many tables it has actually been stored or separated on or normalized, as we call it. If I say how many dimensions are there in this particular dimension model, it is still 3 dimensions. How many tables? That might be 4. Okay?
So there's a difference between dimension and table, right?
So dimension is more of a conceptual or a business identification of a business entity. How you actually represent a particular dimension physically in a table might differ.
Okay.
Here in this case, I have represented my month dimension. Sorry, I represented my date dimension in 2 tables.
Mm-hmm.
There is still 2 hierarchies in here. exact two hierarchies what we found in this particular section. Year, week, date, year, quarter, month, date. Those are the only two hierarchies possible with these particular columns. Okay. So in this particular dimension model, I have two fact tables. One is this particular fact table, another is the budget fact table. I have three dimensions: product, geography, and date. My date dimension is split up into two tables. My date table as well as the month. Tomorrow you can even split it up quarter and year also. No problem. It depends, the split up of a simple dimension into multiple tables is dictated by the data in one of the fact tables. In this case, the budget fact table dictates, considering it is coming at the month level, it dictates the split up of a simple dimension into multiple dimensions. Please note that any data which is coming at a slightly higher level than the grain of the date dimension is a date. It is coming at the month level of the date dimension. It is coming at a higher level. Here if you look at it, I'm going back to this example. The data in the budget fact table is coming at the higher level in the particular date dimension. It's coming at the month level. Whenever you see data coming at a different level than the granular level, you have absolutely no other choice but to split up a single dimension into multiple tables. How many people didn't get this?
Got it.
Okay?
Raj,
Yes?
can we have like one dimension for the date and include those also in a one dimension, like month, ID, month, quarter, year, everything in a one dimension?
I didn't get
Instead
that.
of breaking up two?
You cannot, if you do everything in one particular table itself, you cannot have month ID connecting there. In case you have any data, right, in this particular case the fact table coming at a slightly higher level in the sense higher level than the granular attribute of the date dimension. In this case, it is the granular attribute is a date. If it is coming at the higher level of a specific dimension, that dimension need to be split up into two tables to accommodate the primary key, foreign key relationships. Okay? So again, now how many dimensions does this particular dimension model have?
3.
Perfect. Fact tables is 2. Right?
Hey, Raj,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Would it be possible to have one fact table and, you know, would this have been possible with, you know, two date tables with one fact table? Or could this only be possible with multiple facts?
Yes, it is not possible with a single fact table.
Okay.
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 So whenever you have multiple facts, and also depends on the grain of the data warehouse. If the grain of the data warehouse was months, yes, it was possible using the same, using a single fact table also. Okay. But currently my grain of the data warehouse is date. So I have one fact table coming at the date level. I have one fact table coming at the month level at a higher grain. This, you have no other choice to represent this but to split up date into two things, have month ID in between to connect it. Okay. So usually you have a simple fact table surrounded by multiple dimensions. Right? This is how it would look. If you look at sheet 3, this is how it looks. One fact table surrounded by dimensions. Okay? This schema together is called as star schema. You go to any specific data warehousing interview, they're going to ask this question for sure. Take that from me. Star schema. What is star schema? Okay? When you have a need to split up, just give me a second. When you have a need to split up a single dimension into multiple tables, right? So it would look something like this. Right? It can be split up into one table or multiple tables. Right? Whenever you have this kind of scenario, the exact same example what we discussed right now, this schema is called as snowflake schema. Okay? I'll tell you what is the problem with both of these things. Personally, I feel that this kind of discussion should never happen. But for some reason, this is one of the most important questions in every specific data warehouse interview. They will ask you the difference between a star schema and a snowflake schema. What is the difference between the star schema and snowflake schema?
Snowflake schema is where you have to split up the tables, right? Split up the dimensions.
Yes.
It's like Snowflake is slightly more normalized.
Absolutely. Okay. Whenever they ask you in interviews, use some heavy words like normalization, etc. The more the number of normalization, what is the problem? The more the normalization, the lesser is your performance. Right now, for all the information, you could have got it in same table. For getting information in the star schema, now you have to do a lot of joins. Joins is a very costly operation, and the performance of the queries in the Snowflake schema is considerably lower than what you can find it in the star schema. Okay? And the other issues with this star and snowflake schema still persist. Whatever issues you find for normalization, all those issues you can bring it along. Take it from me, there is no data warehouse in the world which is pure star schema. I have done close to around 30 to 40 data models in my life. I have not come across an instance where it is a true star schema. I have never come up with that instance till now. I'm pretty much sure that you will not get to see a data model which is pure star schema only. Okay? For all practical reasons, it will be a snowflake schema.
Yeah, because all the time we might not deal with only one fact table. We might have more than one fact table.
Absolutely. And the data also could be coming at very different levels. Okay?
Yes.
Very important. We'll just do a quick revision of this. Star schema, no normalization. Snowflake schema, normalization. Performance is decreased. Extremely sorry about that. Performance decreases in Snowflake schema. It's much better in Star schema.
Hey, Raj.
Yes.
Do you typically, in your projects, are you typically, when you're modeling, are you creating multiple facts at one time, or is it in phases where you just create the basic star schema, maybe phase 2 of the project you bring in this, the second big fact table?
Usually we get a lot of fact tables together.
Okay.
Okay.
So you have a snowflake immediately. Typically.
You have a snowflake immediately, and it also depends on which module you're also doing. If you're looking at a sales module, if you're trying to build only for a sales module, then you'll typically end up with a star schema. Even if you have multiple facts, everything has the same level of granularity. Everything comes at the day level, everything comes at the product level, everything comes at the city level, or whatever it is. Whenever you bring any additional functionality, let's say you bought a budgeting system into the dimension model, or you bought vendor information or customer information, right, or reseller type of information, suddenly it becomes a little bit more complicated and starts with the Snowflake schema because of the fact tables too coming from different areas. So it not only depends on how many fact tables you have. You can have 15 fact tables with all the same granularity. It may or may not be possible, but at least I have not come across it. But again, you could have that kind of a scenario. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It depends on for what functionality are you trying to do the particular model. Hello?
Okay.
Okay. You can hear me now, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So star schema and snowflake schema is one of the most important aspects of looking at the dimension model itself. At least it's an definite interview question. Take it from me. You've got to understand under what scenarios you're actually splitting up a table into multiple tables, a dimension into multiple tables. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you got the rationalization between for degenerated dimension and factless fact tables.
Yep.
Okay. Homework for today, and I would definitely make it a point to discuss this particular homework in tomorrow's class. Give me some examples of measures where I cannot use a sum function. I could use an average function, but I cannot use a sum function. Give me at least 3 to 4 examples where I could or cannot use a sum function.
Okay.
Okay? 3 to 4 examples, business scenarios as well as the dimensions and fact. I just need the fact tables. Okay? Don't worry about the dimensions. Give me some examples on that. Okay?
Okay.
Also, give me at least another 3 examples for factless facts. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
At least 3 examples of a factless facts and measures where I cannot use a sum function. Okay? I would be asking the questions very randomly, so please make sure that you guys do your homework. Honestly speaking, without doing the homework, understanding this concept, especially since if it is totally new to you guys, it is going to be extremely hard to follow the further classes. That is why I am taking all these things at a very slower pace.
Okay.
Okay? So make sure you do your homework. And any questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay, this, I'm sorry, this video is going to be on the link today, right?
Yes, this
So
video
that's
will be on the link today, yes.
Okay, okay.
Okay, please give it another couple of hours. It takes another 40 minutes for this video to actually make itself, okay? So it does some kind of a processing, after which only I could upload it.
Well, don't worry about it. It's 9:45 here anyway, so we'll
Okay.
do it.
So you guys won't be seeing the video until morning, at least for sure.
That's right.
All right. So with this, I'm going to leave this class a little early today. Okay? So please make sure you do your homework. The reason why I'm leaving you guys early is the next topic is quite a big one, and I will not be able to finish it within the next 10 or 15 minutes remaining in this session.
All right.
All right? Okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time.
You have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.